Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the documentary Chasing Amy from director Sav Rodgers, and this focuses on the legacy that this film, Chasing Amy from Kevin Smith, has had, how it portrayed the LGBTQI plus community, how this legacy sits decades later in terms of this story about you got this straight man who is going after this woman who he loves, who happens to be a lesbian, and the different layers to that relationship and where that branched off from Kevin Smith's own relationship with Joey Lauren Adams, the star of Chasing Amy, and all these different layers to this film. And that's the most impressive thing about this documentary. This goes far beyond just being this documentary about this film. But you do get some really interesting commentary from a lot of queer folk who are filmmakers and part of this community, and how they perceive the representation that they had from the film Chasing Amy. And the positives, the negatives, what feels like some positive attributes that has helped the community versus how this might have harmed it. And not only do you get this societal perspective through, interviews and stuff like that, but you also get this deeper meaning of having Rodgers interview Kevin Smith and understanding how this film came out of his own relationship with Joey Lauren Adams, his own insecurity, and how it's helped him grow over time, and how this film helped him get to a point where he needed to be like quote unquote fixed. And how this film, which the most interesting part of this film is when Rodgers finally interviews Joey Lauren Adams by herself, and just how much this film strikes an uncomfortable chord with her in terms of her own relationship with Kevin Smith, and how this film might have done wonders for him, but maybe it's been stunted for her. And hearing these complex emotions about this film's fascinating, and you get that from Rodgers, who this has made such an impact on over the course of his life as he's navigated, thought he was a lesbian, realizing he was a trans man and going through this transition. But you have the Kevin Smith aspect, you have the societal aspect. But what's really impactful is this film focuses on the story of Rodgers and what this film meant for him, and how big of an impact it meant to him. And over the course of him making this film, realizing that maybe it will never always keep the same resonance. Maybe it was something that he needed at a certain place in his life. And developing and growing and realizing his true self. You have his relationship with his partner, who was processing her own sexuality as someone who was staunchly yes, I'm a lesbian, but then now is in love with this trans man. And what does that mean for her sexuality? And how these young people navigate that. How you have Kevin Smith and Joey Lauren Adams and others processing their own sexuality through the lens of this film. And this film is able to capture so much on each of those different levels. On that personal level for Rodgers, on that personal level for Kevin Smith, and the societal perspective of the influence of this film. And it all comes together in an interesting and engaging way that is quite unexpected. But this documentary delivers plenty of emotion, deep, rich, impactful themes, and, really puts a whole entire spin on this film, Chasing Amy. But those are my thoughts on Chasing Amy. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.